Hello and welcome to the short Vort on Parshas Yisro from Revii to Chamishi. Yisro is of course the Parsha of Matan Torah, and before that Moshe goes up to Shemayim and has a dialogue, and that's part of Revii, Perek Yutes, Pasuk Gimel, Moshe Allah el Elohim v'yikra elav Hashem min hahar. So the Sefer Meged Yosef from Reb Yosef Yehuda Lieb Sorotzkin talks about two different midrashim that discuss the death of and suffering of Rabbi Akiva. The Gemaras first in Menachos Perek Tes is that when Moshe went up to heaven, he asked Hashem, why would you give the Torah through me when you have this great Rabbi Akiva who can even learn lessons from the tagin, from the crowns, on each letters of a written Sefer Torah? Hashem says, be quiet, this is the way I want it. So then Moshe asked, well, show me Torah and its reward. So Hashem responded, turn around. And when he turned around, he saw the body of the flesh of Rabbi Akiva being weighed in the marketplace after he had been killed. Then he asked Hashem again, says, show me the Torah and show me the reward. And Hashem said, be quiet, this is the way I want it. So we have two questions here. That first, how come Hashem showed this terrible suffering of Rabbi Akiva when Moshe was asking for reward, what the reward of Torah is? And also, if Hashem showed him something when he asked the question, why did he repeat the question of what is Torah and what is its reward? In the Gemaras Brachos on Samach Aleph Amud Beis, we have a different story where when Rabbi Akiva was being brought out at the time of Kriyas Shema in the morning, so they tore his skin with iron cones. And the Malachim said, is this Torah and its reward? And Hashem then responded through a Baskol that Rabbi Akiva, you are now prepared to go into Olam Haba. So we have two different discussions going on here, and there's some variances to note. We won't have time to go and respond to all of them. We'll probably focus more on the first two questions we asked regarding the Gemara in Menachos, but one difference is we had the punishment before the death, and one is the punishment, the suffering after the death. Another one is Moshe was told, "Stoke, be quiet," while the Malachim heard, "Oh, you're going to Olam Haba." So perhaps we can help clarify the situation using, according to the Sefer Meged Yosef, using the Rambam in Hilchos Tshuva, who describes Olam Haba as a world where there is no more guf, there's no more body. Only the neshamos, the souls of the tzaddikim, the righteous, will be there. And that's what death is. Death is a separation of the soul from the body, because the body is so earthy that it doesn't deserve to go up to the holy place where the soul goes up. However, there are some people who died and their body went up with them. Hanoch, Yaakov, Moshe, Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi, Eliyahu, and Rabbi Akiva himself. So they went up because their souls were so pure that they were not different than their bodies. They were being able to go up to heaven, because in that case the body was like a garment for the nefesh. So it was something slightly attached, which is and kind of part of it, which was why when Adam Arishon was not embarrassed, he and Chava, because they were naked, because to them they were so, before they sinned, their guf was just a covering for, like a piece of clothing for the neshama, and you don't have to put another piece of clothing on the clothing. So that's when the neshama is on the right level. But unfortunately, after the avera, so then our souls, our bodies became impure and no longer go up, with rare exceptions, to heaven, to Olam Haba. So we should note that when Yaakov was born, he was born mole, he was born perfect, he had a bris milah. Also Moshe Rabbeinu was born perfect, and therefore their bodies throughout their lives, they were perfect, and it was relatively easy, if you want to call it that, to go up and to be pure and go up to Shemayim. However, Rabbi Akiva, he only started learning Torah when he was 40. Therefore his body was not pure, and it had to go through an intense purification process, and that purification process cleansed it enough so that it would go up to Shemayim with him. So when Hashem was responding, what is the reward of Torah, he was saying, this is the reward. I am cleaning his neshama so that it'll be purified so that it can go up. It's not a punishment, it's a cleansing. And the proof of it is that Moshe saw posthumous suffering, when at that point the body doesn't feel it, but it was still part of the cleansing process when it was no longer necessary in a punishment sense, but in a purification sense, it still made sense. So this was not an onesh, but a reward. What Rabbi Akiva had, that his body suffered even after his death. And so therefore when Moshe afterwards, when he said he asked again the Torah, and this is the reward, it's not because he was asking the question of what is the reward, but he wanted to be mispalel so that the body wouldn't have to suffer anymore. But Hashem responded that no, this world is a world of midas adin, and therefore I have to go through this, complete this process. You have to be quiet and be silent and accept it. Just like when Moshe wanted to go into Eretz Yisrael and he prayed, eventually Hashem said, Rav lach, midas adin, you can't pray anymore. So therefore we see that what seems to be suffering for Rabbi Akiva is really a cleansing process. It's really his reward, not his punishment. Thank you for listening. Have a wonderful day and a wonderful Shabbos.